now we're working on electrical and looking at the engine wiring harness. Just got it out. You can see it's pretty rough, and you can see it was in really rough shape. That's why we just decided to replace it. All of that down in there, and then also got to do a negative terminal as well. So
what a surprise, I'm heading to Napa.
The same connector on both sides, just one of each.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
Anyway, here we go. I don't know what that means, but
it's like peace out, like, cause you do the two like this, like peace sign, like the peace, so like deuces, two. Yeah. So, you want to start it?
Sure. So today, maybe this weekend, we're hoping to at least try to crank the engine over.
Yep.
We've got a bunch of kind of little things to do before that. We've got to connect up the throttle cable that he put in last weekend. It needs to get connected up to the carburetor. There's a bunch of electrical stuff still needs to be done in the engine. There's one other electrical connector. I'm not even sure what it is, but we got to figure out where that goes.
We got to do coolant.
Add coolant. Got the new distributor, new cap, new rotor, or new distributor cap rotor, and figure out the firing order of the distributor too. I disconnected it before I marked it up. So anyway.
Yeah, so we just wrote up a little thing on the iPad here that just for like a little checklist of things that we want to get done or try to get done today.
If we can get this thing even cranking, we do have an external fuel reservoir. We're not going to use the fuel tank that's in it because it's probably pretty crusty. We haven't checked it out yet.
I haven't done anything with the fuel tank yet.
But I mean, we're pretty close, and provided we have compression, that because we haven't checked compression yet, provided we have compression and provided that the head gasket is still okay.
I feel like there's a lot of things still in the way of it starting. But it's like a lot of small things that are just like.
Unless the engine is crap, which we don't know.
Yeah, you're right. We don't know yet. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for the little intro here. And yeah, I guess we're just gonna get to work.
Get to it and maybe try to show you some of the stuff along the way.
Yeah.
So you're going to want to look in the manual for underneath specifications and find spark plug gap and check all the spark plug gaps, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Oh, we scraped that up. That sucks, or I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but I didn't.
You can see that you've got a gap right there, right?
Right.
And so depending on what it's supposed to be, you use these feeler gauges. Like for instance, that's 5/1000ths.
Yep.
If the gap was supposed to be 5/1000ths, which it's not,
yeah, you'd want it to.
You want it to just barely touch as you put it in there.
Right.
So you might have to bend it down or pull it up or whatever. But first,
so you just figure out what the size has to be. Pick something that's the closest.
Right. Well, you might have to like add a couple. So you might have to add 5/1000ths to 15/1000ths is going to make 20/1000ths.
Right.
And so you're like, oh, 20, yeah, perfect. You know, whatever. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Actually, it is about 20/1000ths right now. So yeah, there you go. And then when you're putting these in, always put them in by hand first, because you do not want to strip out the threads in the block.
Because
that's bad. When I was your age, no, actually I wasn't your age. I was like 10.
Yeah.
And I was working with your grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He was teaching me, and he's like, "Here, put these in," and he didn't tell me that piece, so I just immediately took a ratchet and went, and it was all cross-threaded, and I cross-threaded.
That's a whole
He
block.
was not happy. Yeah, I mean, he had to drill and tap it out, and I don't know. I have no idea what else he did, but.
So I looked in here. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh yeah. So engine tuning data, and then right there it says spark plugs, meg type, and then the gap, which is right there, 24 thousandths to 26 thousandths. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure that these are all the right gap size. That's 2. Okay, that's all of those.
The best part is you can't see what you're doing.
You know the difference between a spark plug and a glow plug?
A glow plug?
Glow plug, yeah.
Glow plug? Glow plugs are for diesels.
Yeah.
They're kind of like spark plugs. I don't think that they necessarily spark, they just get like warm.
Yeah, they like. Well, I had a whole conversation with Blake last night about spark plugs.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you know diesels use a different kind of plug called a glow plug? And he's like, no, they don't. And he's like, they're just spark plugs like every other car. I was like, no, it's for diesel. Okay, so we remember last time I took out the throttle cable and well, I threw the old one away and we thought we lost this piece, but we're good. So now I'm gonna try to reattach it in here. Dad was trying, but I think his fingers are a lot bigger than mine, so.
Wow, that's hard. I know, it's gonna be wicked hard. Just think about which side you want to have that.
Can I put this in going that way?
Either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I was saying.
That would be easier.
Yeah, whichever you think is gonna be easier to get the cotter pin on. I heard something slide in there.
Yep. It's on there.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
All right. I figured that was going to be half our day. And let it off. See, does it come back good? Does it seem like it's working all right?
Yep.
All right. Good job.
All right, so this is the old distributor cap with the cables. And here's the new one. So I'm gonna go put those together.
I've got a screwdriver in the cylinder right now. And so... So the cylinders are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
One this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It says it should fire 1, 3, 4, 2. So that one, number 1, needs to get connected up to. Hold on. The number 1 position should be approximately 1 o'clock position, looking at the distributor from the side.
Which side?
So
Left or right?
right, I'm gonna say.
That doesn't help.
Well, we'll try it one way. If it doesn't work, try the other way. The rotor should point to the number 1 spark
Oh, I
plug
see.
location.
Oh,
Which
okay.
means.
I get that.
So let's pop that off. I'm gonna get a 1 5/16. We're gonna have to see if we can figure that out.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna put these on, and so it's gonna go 1, 3, 4, and 2 because it goes counterclockwise, and currently the rotor is on 1 right now, so we know this is 1, so 1, and that's how we're gonna do it.
And how do we know that it's on 1? It's because
Oh,
one
right.
cylinder is at top dead center.
Right. Okay, so I've got all the cables routed here, and I think, well, hopefully, they're in the right spots. Hey, you're supposed to be the inspector. You're not supposed to be sleeping on the job. And I think now we want to maybe attempt to put some coolant in here.
Well, just as I feared, we do have a leak in the radiator. I don't know if you can see that or not. You can see it dripping out of there. Right in the center at the bottom. But I was worried because the radiator was completely empty when we took this thing apart. There was no coolant anywhere in anything. As you're driving, there's a diaphragm in here, and the engine's creating vacuum. This is creating vacuum, so it sucks this diaphragm in and adjusts the timing. You can manually adjust the timing by twisting the distributor, and we'll do that later. Hopefully, it's fairly close to correct timing right now, but you can advance the timing. Or you can retard the timing. Yeah. And all that means is, you know, when the spark plug fires. Right. So as the piston is moving up. Yeah. You know, what point does the spark plug fire? Right. So you're timing the rotor of when it gets into contact with. Yes. The metal of the top cap. The rotor and the cap connect, causing the spark plug to fire. And you want it to fire at the correct point. You don't want it to fire when, like, for instance, the piston's already going down. Yeah, and you don't want spark going. You don't want it to spark at that point. You want it to spark almost on the way, like. Because then you've got one cylinder that's down, the spark went off, but it's already done its you know. Yeah. So then it goes up with the crankshaft, and then there's no spark to bring it back down, and you're gonna have like a.
What does Division 4 mean? What does Division 4 mean? And like when it says like Loki.
We connected the throttle, FASD electrical connections, anti-run-on valve connections, the water temp sensor. We did connect all the coolant hoses. Those are all done. We put there's coolant in there now. It's got a leak though. I filled the carbs with oil. This one is not done yet, but I don't think it's critical.
Connect.
So we'll check the oil. We did put a new distributor cap, new distributor cap rotor plugs in, and attach the air cleaner housing. That's the black piece right there. Which I don't think we're going to put I don't necessarily need to put the air box on there yet. We should be able to run without that.
No, that's not a water bottle.
Alright, so we're looking at potentially trying to start this thing. What are your predictions?
I'm 100% confident it's going to fire right up and purr like a kitten.
Right. It's going to start up just fine. Have no problems.
I mean, we have spark. I mean, you can turn it for like. We know that.
Right.
We're not 100% sure that we've got the firing order correct.
Not 100%. Is fuel.
Carburetors that we rebuilt. I mean, I've never rebuilt a Stromberg before, so who knows? What do you think? What's your prediction?
I think
it's gonna be flawless. There's nothing wrong with this thing.
You think it's gonna be flawless? Okay.
Yeah, nothing's.
That's on camera now, so.
I believe our work is. I
mean, the shop inspectors have been like.
Well, they've been. Yeah, I know. Probably want them inside.
Hey, come on, guys. Make sure it's in neutral too. Should be. All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Maybe pump it a little bit, and then turn it over.
Oh, here. Well, kind of expected. Maybe the spark, maybe that's not right.
It's possible, right?
Or maybe they're not kind of fully seated. Maybe I didn't seat them in.
Well, let's see if we're getting spark. I guess we can kill the cameras for a while until we're ready to do this again.
Try again in a minute.
Distributor cap, spark plugs, firing order, cylinder firing order, that kind of stuff.
Where's the...
There's a manual there.
So last time we were talking about how there was we had spark at the spark plugs and even recorded it, and there was indeed spark. But now we literally have no spark, and there's like no power going anywhere up here, and yeah. Are we even sure that there was spark, or?
You look in your video.
Yeah, I know. It's just.
I got another one of these too that I can try.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's regulating it too good.
It's not really like a regulator either. I'm not exactly 100% sure what it is. I just find it odd that it would go bad like that. Like, probably has shorted out. Be careful, the coil has plenty of good current draw, so the jumper lead might get hot if it's too thin.
He's saying disconnect it and just attach a wire to the negative, and then just put that to ground.
Apparently, but I don't know what that's supposed to do. I'm getting 10.45, which that means it says the voltage may briefly rise to 12 volts because the ballast resistor is bypassed during cranking to provide a stronger spark.
Actually, wouldn't this voltage thing, because this is connected, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? Wouldn't that work if it was
You
like?
turn the key on, what do you get? Yeah, that's not it. It should just, like, nothing is moving, like the fuel thing isn't going up.
It was though.
It was?
Yeah. All of that was working when we tried it the first time.
I wonder if we've got a fuse out.
What is the idea?
Maybe I didn't have the oil sensor hooked up last time. So, is the oil light on now?
No. Hey Loki, you're gonna have to move. You're gonna have to move. That's my seat. Hold on. Loki, I need you to move, dude. You're like in this. Go over there. Go over there. Go on, over there. Thank you. Thank you. Huh?
No, it didn't work.
No? Hmm?
Huh?
Yes.
It's on?
Yep. It's off. It flickered off with whatever you just did. Well, we've been trying to do this for probably, I don't know, like the last 45 minutes, an hour, and no luck. So back to the drawing board. I'm trying to figure out what the problem is.
Coming out of the distributor.
It seems like everything is leading to everything dealing with it seems like the cap, something to do with from the cap this way, coming this way, it's having an issue. There's no power getting to, or no spark, no power, no nothing. Tried messing with the regulator. We tried
Swapping out the coil.
swapping the coil, going back and putting just the wire on the battery again. That did nothing.
We've got voltage at the positive terminal of the coil. When the key comes on, the voltage goes to 4.5. And then when you try to start it, when the engine's cranking over, you're getting about 10.6 volts at the positive. I'm seeing 10.6 volts at the positive terminal of the coil.
Yeah. And everything's saying that it's supposed to be 12 when you're going to start it, but then it goes back down.
We do have 12 volts at both ends of the ballast resistor. Cable that goes from the coil to the distributor. When I tested, I was getting upwards of 11 volts, which tells me we're getting power into the distributor.
Just not the cap. It's literally from the rotor. The rotor is not something is not getting the power transferred from the distributor to the distributor cap.
Seems like it, yes.
But
We've changed out the distributor. We've changed out the rotor. We've changed out the distributor cap. We've changed out the rotor. And we've gone back to the old distributor cap and the old rotor. And still had no change in anything. So if anybody has any ideas out there in the old interwebs, feel free to put them in the comments.
Yeah, if anybody has any idea of what the issue is, because
so we do have, it's a Pertronic system, as well as the XR700 voltage regulator, if that's what you want to call it. So it's not the original setup that this car had, so somebody had changed it out in the past. That is disappointing.
yeah, it's a little disappointing. I was kind of hoping that we were gonna be able to start. Very low chance of success, but I was also pretty hopeful that even though it wasn't working yesterday, I was kind of thinking we were gonna have it fixed today.
Yeah, because I'm out of ideas.
Or at least know what the issue is.
Because we will figure it out. That's not
Well, either figure it out or,
it's not a question.
you know.
We're so close to trying to start this thing. So close. And I wouldn't be so disappointed if we didn't have had spark in those spark plugs 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's on video. It is on video. It is documented that there was spark.
We had spark.
And I don't understand from then to now. It's pretty cool. What has happened?
We put in the entire manifold and carburetor system since then.
Yeah, but that's about it. There's no nothing electronic.
Right.
No wire. We didn't mess with any wiring.
We connected up the FASD, that's electrical.
Oh yeah, that.
Connected up the anti-run-on valve, that's electrical, but I've disconnected those and they still didn't make any difference, and I didn't think it would anyway, but.
I didn't think they were even connected. Well, all right, folks. I think that's gonna do it for this episode. For the TR7, little disappointing. We did a lot of stuff, but
Yeah, it looks ready to go.
yeah, it's ready to go. It just don't know what the problem is.
And the fuel pump is pumping fuel because we could watch that in the fuel filter. Maybe the ballast resistor went bad.
But didn't you just swapped that, right?
No, I don't have a couple of those.
Well, what was the thing that you? What was that cylinder thing?
That's the coil.
All right. All right. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you on the next one.
Deuces.
Deuces.